CCR TV, channel of God's love. A warm welcome to all our viewers on this episode of Social Activists of Goa. In this episode, we bring to you Goa's most adorable, soft-spoken, gentle and highly respected historian, professor and a social activist by passion. Goa and Goa's future is very dear to his heart. He is always present anywhere to protect Goa's heritage, Goa's interest, environment, natural resources and the very soul of Goa. A warm welcome to Professor Prajal Sakhardande. Nice to have you, sir, at our studios today. And I would like to ask you, being a college professor, how and when did actually the social activism come into your?
It started around 94. There was an NSS camp of our college. I joined college, teaching Dempe College, teaching history in 93.
Okay.
So it's been 30 years. So then there was an NSS camp, and that's where I got sort of interested, in the aspects outside the
campus.
Outside home, outside campus, in a sense, like, and then from then onwards, there was we started collecting funds for that Nilesh Naik who had died, for Nylon 66, and
Correct.
after that, I got involved in Peaceful Society. There was an NSS camp. I got involved in the Gandhian social organization called Peaceful Society.
I see.
After that, it was one INSAF conference that I attended. So all these, started. Then Professor Isabel Vaz asked me to write something on Goa. She was doing a play, so I wrote on Goa. That article, I got it published in Herald. It appeared on 29 March 1998. That launched me as a writing history writer. Then after that, because of Madam Patricia Pinto, then Narayan Sinai Dhumo, I got involved in social activism, heritage activism.
I see.
Then she recommended my name to Heta Pandit, and I became part of Goa Heritage Action Group. And since the last 22 years, we have been fighting for protecting Goa's heritage, history,
so you had quite an interesting entry in this field of social activism,
yes,
with multiple choices, so to say.
Yes.
So did you find this social activism, was it interesting, challenging, or was it a breeze to connect with the outside world and the general masses?
No, I think it all started with the love for Goa. See, unless you have that inherent love for your mother Goa, I was very much conscious of Kokani. I have that thing that Mujhe Mai Bas Kokani. Then I was feeling somewhere down that people were telling me. Many people were saying some other language is your my bus, and I was finding it an affront. No, I have been talking to my mother in Kokani, my grandparents in all my life, my family, and somebody else was telling me some other language is your. That was affecting my identity. Then I was feeling for the historical monuments, the heritage monuments. They were getting desecrated. Then when the trees were being cut, I could not keep quiet. I had to see and at least voice my so basically that Goan feeling of being Goan, that my language was getting affected, but that my history was getting affected. Then eventually I came to know about opinion poll, how my state was. My Goa would have been merged with Maharashtra. And that time I was not even born, so I could not. I thank my leaders like Dr. Jack Sikera, Purushottam Kakodkar, Victoria Fernandez, who saved my Goa for me, and that is why I am a Goan. So a lot of these things, even today, like anybody says anything against Goa or my Konkani or my identity
It
as
upsets
a Goan, it angers me.
Angers
so
you.
that's where somewhere.
Okay. So now, having been in this field of social activism for almost say now 28 years or so roughly,
yeah.
Have you any time felt that giving time for social activism is actually a waste of time?
No. Never I have felt that it is a waste of time. Because you are doing it for your Goa. No one is telling you to do it.
Okay.
You are doing it because you love Goa. Now when a historical monuments, that day the Tonka pillar was getting affected. So whenever any historical monument, whether it is a fort or whether it is a palace or anything, when it is getting destroyed, I feel it is my duty as a teacher of history to protect it.
Correct.
Don't expect others to do it. You do it yourself. Now when a tree is being cut, many people keep quiet. But I can't keep quiet. So we go and protest. A hill is being cut, so we protest.
Is this the main reason for what you are committed, to protect every small thing about Goa, and that is what activism is all about, according to you?
I feel activism should be selfless. It should be pure, and it
Yes.
should not have any hidden ulterior motive. You love your Goa, and that is why you are doing it. No one is telling you to do it. If something Goa is getting destroyed or Goa is being destroyed by whether it is politicians or builders, I feel as a Goan we should at least voice out. At least voice out. Now what happens is on Facebook and all, people say, there are Facebook warriors. They say we are with you. So when you look back, there is nobody with you. Okay. Of course, there are a large number of very sincere, honest activists in Goa who are always on the forefront of protecting heritage or environment or culture. Or
So, having been in this field for so long, can you tell us how well informed are Goans in general about about social activism and the power that it has got and the benefits the common man can derive, to the extent even bringing the administration on its knees? Is this awareness?
No, I don't think so.
The common man, is he aware?
No, I don't think so. The common people are aware.
Still now also, after so many
no,
years, seeing so much of activism going on.
Sometimes, what angers me, sometimes you are dismissed as, they say, it is your job to do it. Every person, like people, I feel that people are centered around their families, their wife, their kids, that's their immediate family. Okay. Whatever our religion teaches us about humanity, about so many things, but actually are we concerned about other than our immediate families?
Beyond the
families? We are not. We are only talking about how my wife, my children, my family, that's it.
So to say in Konkani,
how
Moshi Kutum and Mosa Gaurav.
So many people come and tell me that I did this much for my family. What you have done is for your family. You have not done it for Goa. You have to do for your Goa. You have to do for your country. When you are talking about, say for example, when you are talking about Jesus Christ, what Jesus Christ said, love thy neighbor as thyself, means what? It is not your immediate neighbor, it is humanity. Are we following this? We are not following this. We are just going to the church, we are going to the temple, we are going to the mosque, and beyond that we are not doing. It is just there, that's it. And then we fight with our neighbors, brothers fight for property. So where is Jesus Christ? You are not following. We are not following Gita, we are not following Quran, we are just doing it. Only it has become such a, this hypocritical. So it is very disturbing that there is so much this among Goans. We feel that Goans are the best people in the world. I don't think so.
Because reality is something different.
Reality is something different. Now we are fighting for Madai. Yesterday there was a meeting in Farmagudi. We had given a call that if you have any self-respect, don't attend the meeting, because not for any political reasons, irrespective of whichever the political party. All political parties have failed. All political parties have cheated. But a person who had spoken against Madai, that it should be diverted, and you all are attending the meeting of this, which means there is something lacking in the sense that love for Goa, that love, I think,
not real.
I don't know. I cannot say that. I cannot make a generalized sweeping statement. I have to be conscious of that also, but going by the numbers that attended the meeting, I feel that somewhere it is lacking.
Well, Prajal Bob, coming to activism again, how do you approach a social issue? Supposing, say, you hear about a social issue in society, you volunteer yourself to go, or is it the people come and approach you to help them out to lead the
Yeah,
fight
there are
on the
various things. Like for example, we fought the regional plan 2011. All of us came together under one umbrella.
All on your own?
Or
was it?
No, see, like somebody informs you. Like for example, that time Dean De Cruz, who was the member of our Goa Heritage Action
Yes.
Group, informed us that regional plan is going to finish Goa for 10 years. They are going to build only it will be concrete jungle.
Concrete jungle.
So we decided to gather everybody, and we had sensitization people. We had sensitization meetings and all. So that's why, like sometimes people phone and tell, oh, the tree is being cut. So we rushed there and tried to save it. Like the Giri coconut trees were cut, we went and hugged those trees. So like some historical monuments is getting destroyed. Sometimes people inform. Sometimes
through the
media, sometimes media plays a very important role. So like we go on the field and we try to save those trees, or we try to protect again, we protest again. Sometimes we take flying squads. If a hill is being cut, we try to stop it. So it's like constantly you are on the field, and that you have to do it.
Having said that, can you single out any one social activity of yours where that was the proudest moment, for having succeeded in your mission to save something?
No, there have been several success stories, and there have been failures also. So we could manage to save many historical monuments, because of our intervention. There are so many monuments that we could save even in hinterland. So because we intervened, because either the temple committee wanted to pull it down, like for example, or a chapel wanted to pull, a chapel was being raised, or if or something was happening. So we intervened, and we have saved many monuments. We could save many forts, so many
which otherwise would have been demolished.
Yes, so many sites we could save, so many hills we could save. So there have, like for example, one example I'll give you is the gunpowder factory in Raibandar.
Okay.
There was a gunpowder factory, and there were 11 millstones. One of my students informed me that these millstones are lying in a dilapidated condition and nobody is taking care of them. So I went there I went with one of my friends, and we saw the site, and then we had a campaign. And we were successful in the campaign. Finally, we got the millstone transported, and now they are displayed outside in the ASI museum, the ASI museum. Tonka pillar we could save. We could save so many monuments which have hitherto would have gone, but we could manage. Like for example, some sculptures were being immersed in the river. We contacted the museum, got a truck, and we got all the sculptures in the Goa State Museum, and now they are displayed over there. Like that, there are so many stories. Many times we have moved the court, and we have succeeded. Many times we have failed also. We have failed also, and we have succeeded also. So there have been both the things.
As a very active social activist of Goa, taking up so many issues, right from north to south, is there any kind of fear in your mind?
So far, there is no fear in my mind.
So far, no fear?
So far, there is no fear, because there have been lot of incidents where, in fact, life-threatening incidences.
Yeah.
But somehow I have come out of it, and then there has been no fear. Whenever, like even in Taligaon, when there is an issue, we openly voice it out. So my thing is, like, if I am teaching history to my students, to young impressionable minds, I am teaching history about revolutions, about freedom struggle. I have to do it myself. Otherwise, I stop being a history teacher. There is no point in teaching students history when you yourself don't want to do it.
In other words, you want to live by example. That's what you want to say.
Everyone, not only me, everyone has to live by example.
And that will make a difference.
Yes, it is
to everybody's life.
It is not enough to preach. You have to practice it.
Right, sir.
Otherwise, it is all useless. Otherwise, your life itself is useless if you are just doing it for yourself.
Tell me one thing, Prajal Bob. There are so many social activists in Goa, and every one of them is doing commendable service to Goa and Goa's interest.
Right.
Can't all of you come together under a common umbrella organization so that you can take up every small issue together? Now, sometimes we find there are few activists on the other side. Something like that can be done for the betterment of Goa, so that even the authorities can be on the back foot then, seeing so many activists together.
Yeah, actually it happened, it got translated into Goa Bachao Abhiyan.
Yes,
in
only
Goa
once.
Bachao Abhiyan,
Yes.
everybody
Most of them came together. But we don't see
And,
it happening now. Am I right?
Another thing was the church also played a very important role during the Goa Bachao Abhiyan, and they rallied people. And so people came under one umbrella of GBA, Goa Bachao Abhiyan.
Yes.
So your idea, I mean, this is a very good point, because I feel if all the activists come together under one platform as saviors of Goa, then there could be a
Yes.
shadow or a parallel organization to tell the government that you are doing wrong, you are destroying our environment.
And we are all together here,
Yes.
and we will not.
Yeah, because the governments keep destroying the environment. They are not
Right.
concerned about environment. They cut trees, they field fields.
Lot of deforestation.
Lot of deforestation is happening. Now presently Goa is being destroyed, being desecrated. Like everywhere there is hill cutting, everywhere trees are being cut. Panji is being dug. You cannot drive in Panji. That day they cut a beautiful tamarind tree which we had saved in 2004. And then they were about to, the Tonka pillar would have fallen. So like that, monuments are at threat. So it's a very good idea if all the activists come together. In fact, we did come together for Madai on 16th January
Yes.
2023.
Yes.
But then what happens is people have some lot of differences among themselves.
Difference
and then
of
there is,
opinion, and then there's a
and then there is
bifurcation.
rifts
But
take
I
place.
think for the betterment and for the future, you have to give a thought to it, like for something like that.
Yes,
isn't it?
very much. It is
Very
very much
much.
required, I feel.
Now, as a social activist, can you enlist a few problems and difficulties that you generally face when you go and take up a social issue?
Sometimes what happens is people compromise also it happened in one village. Like we were fighting for hill cutting, and we had a public meeting and all that, and we said no, that builder should not cut the hill and put up a project. And finally next time we went for the meeting, the people did not come. People had already been paid.
Yes.
And they did not come for the meeting. So we were here fighting to
For
save
the
that
interests
hill,
of the
and
village.
people were already paid, and I mean those villagers were paid and they did not come. So these type of things, they are very demoralizing, they are very disturbing, and especially when people have political intent, and they can have political intent, there is absolutely no doubt. But then if you use those political things like on an activist platform and all that, I think
Then the very purpose is defeated.
purpose gets defeated and becomes very demoralizing for
Prajal Bab, as a social activist, do you believe in a confrontation route or hesitations or discussion across the table?
Personally, I feel the discussions don't work.
Don't work.
No. I feel only...
Have you tried it?
We have tried it.
Perhaps it's the first step of social activists.
It is a first step, but I, for one, would believe that unless and until people go on the streets and protest or do an andolan, the government doesn't listen.
wake up.
And government listens only to numbers. When your thought is translated into action on the streets, then the government takes cognizance of it, or the central government takes cognizance of it. Otherwise, they feel, Goans, they are, how they are, Goans are dismissed as Susaigad. And they think Susaigad is lazy. It is not. Susaigad means relaxed. Of course, we would love to be Susaigad. Okay, so don't try to defame us or by calling us Susaigad. There has no been Susaigad Goans. Goans have fought opinion poll. Goans have fought for Konkani. Goans have fought against Konkan Railway. Goans have not been Susaigad. But yes, but what happens is the teeming millions of Indians come and settle here. That's where also the problem lies. We are, I feel, getting so lot of these. There are a lot of things that we need to address. We were fighting for special status for Goa.
Yes.
Yes. And that we could not succeed.
Right.
So a lot of issues are there in Goa, and we need to fight. We need to, unless we fight, not as a confrontation, but we need to fight for our rights, I feel. We have to fight for our environment. We have to come on the streets, and then only the government listens. Otherwise, the government doesn't care. Government has a strong machinery.
There are times when a social activism like this, which has a very peaceful movement that progresses and fights for a cause, it can even take a violent turn. What could be the reasons for such a situation coming up, and how does a social activist actually control his followers and supporters, because they come with 10 different minds, 10 different ideas? Is it a challenge before a social activist to maintain that?
Yeah, every Andolan actually is a challenge. Every Andolan is a challenge. Every issue that you take up is a challenge. And lot of people come with lot of sincerity also. I have seen that some people they come for the love of
passion
Goa,
in them.
for passion.
Yes.
Like for example, we fought the Bhumiputra bill, which the government had introduced, in making some new people as Bhumiputra.
Correct.
There was this person, Vishwesh Prabhu, he was from Sattari. Under his leadership, we fought, and we were successful in fighting. In Lotoli, we had a big meeting, and so people from south, north, all of
just merged together.
Came together for the love of Goa.
Yes.
Okay, I for one would believe in the Gandhian path. I would not advise people to throw stones. But I will follow that path, which has to be on the road. You can't sit at home and carry an Andolan.
Right.
You have to be on the field. You have to be on the road. You have to be in the front, and you have to fight. Fight the draconian government. Fight the draconian rules of the government, and fight the government, any government, which destroys our Goa.
Right. So at present, there are so many social issues that are affecting Goa and Goans, and the fight is still on. Let's say about the Madhi diversion. Whether it is the old Goa bungalow, double trekking issues, deforestation, all in the name of development. Am I right? But despite a strong opposition, sometimes the results are difficult to come by. Do you think all this activism done by the activists and the people of Goa, is it a voice in the wilderness?
Daniel Bob, sometimes you do feel, as I've said earlier, demoralized, and you do feel your voice is in the wilderness. But we have to make an attempt, but I feel that the movement of Madhai, the issue has received almost international attention because of people coming out on the streets on 16 January, people fighting, people are sincerely fighting. Like we have Save Madhai, Save Goa Front, which was founded by Mahesh Mamre and Hridayanath Shirodkar. Before that, I was part of Madhai Bachao Abhiyan, which was founded by Nirmala Sawant. Rajan Kelkar is there.
Yes.
So we have been fighting, and it has brought about significant changes. Legally also our case is very strong. But at the same time, we have to fight Karnataka government, which is a big whale, and they give 28 MPs to the center, whereas we give only 2 MPs. Politically, we are very negligible.
Big political interest is there.
And our MPs don't speak also. So that is our problem. So we have to speak. What our government is not doing, our responsibility of the MLAs is to speak. Some of them do speak, some of them don't speak. So that is why we have to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is where social activism takes the first place. Right. And Goa needs it.
Yes.
Now, as we're talking about social activism, how can we motivate the younger generation? Finally, somewhere they have to come on the field, follow their leaders, and bring about change in society. And while highlighting the issues, they have to know certain things. Now, can you tell us how this motivation process can begin for the youth? When I say youth, I mean now who are at the college level. Finally, they have to come in the field one day and be part of the entire movement.
No, I have been in the teaching field. This is my 30th year of teaching in Dempe College. I have been teaching history.
Yes.
And through my subject, I feel that the students, the young people, they should come out and voice out not for their personal comforts.
No.
If they are not given a computer, they take to the streets. Okay. But when it is a cause for the state, they don't come. They actually don't come.
So how do we motivate them?
So repeated, like some like for example our Save Coconut Chipko Andolans, students came of the first year because I told them to come, they came. So what happens is, what my observation is, the students are very marks oriented.
Okay. So they are academically
They
bent.
are, in present generation of students, they are very nice, disciplined, lovely, gentle, polite. They are all of that. But they are more interested in how many marks they get or how much attendance they will get. Will they get attendance if they come for that Andolan?
No.
This is the first question in their mind. Plus their parents don't allow them. Okay? Parents don't allow them. So those students, the youth, but if there is some dance thing going on in our college, they all are there in large numbers. You know, whenever there is some youth program or some intercollegiate festival or something, they converge in large numbers. But when it comes to Madai, they don't come. When it comes to just one or two will come. When it comes to some social activity or some environmental, they don't come. But when it comes to having fun, jam sessions, dance, music, they all are there. This is the present. I mean, not just the present. This has been over the years. At least the present generation of students is very disciplined, decent, polite, and all that. The earlier generation of students were not like that. The earlier generation of students used to bunk classes and do all kinds of things. Today they say that at our time we were very studious and all. They were not. At least the present generation, I feel that they are very decent and polite and all that.
Yeah, but when it comes to social causes like that, they are backward. The interest is only the academics and the marks that they will get and their performance.
Yes,
Huh?
yes.
But there should be some change, in their mindset and their thinking, for at least for a better future.
Like that time there was half ticket agitation in 1979, where those students, they were socially minded, like Satish Sonak and many others, and they had that Andolan. Okay, but that was again for their half ticket. But for the cause of Goa, what I'm saying is, for the cause of Goa, the Progressive Students Union also participated in the Konkani Andolan and many other Andolans. But those kind of students, like who would do Andolan for the sake of a social cause, that I don't see among the present generation of students.
Do you subscribe to the general view that the people normally have, that social activism in some cases is a stepping stone for political ambitions?
I think many are in this, and they are part of political parties, and they are part of which is okay. The youngsters should take interest in politics, and they should be part of it. We want them in the assembly. Many of those youngsters, they are very good, and they should be in the assembly. So that happens. But I feel that it shouldn't be like, if you take up any cause, it shouldn't be only political intent.
Okay.
You should fight it as a cause.
As a cause.
Yes, you have to build your political career and get into the assembly so that you can fight there better.
Yeah.
Of course.
Voice of the people.
Yes, there will be a voice of the
Where it
people. I'm
matters
not against
more.
it.
Right,
I'm not against it. But for me, I have my reservations. I will never be part of any. Till today, I have never been a part of any political party, and I will never be part of any political party.
You are very clear about it.
I am very clear that politics, not for me.
Not your
For me, it's Goa.
cup of tea.
Not because it is not my cup of tea. For me, it is my love for Goa, my Goa, which is my mother Goa, and for Goa's environment, Goa's natural heritage, Goa's cultural heritage, Goa's historical heritage. That's my mission.
Prajal Bab, we are actually running out of time, but one last question to you. What advice would you give to our youth today? That, when it comes to Goa, they have to be vigilant to protect it from every side, from the point of environment, natural resources, and the very Goan identity. Would you like to give a piece of your mind to our youth?
Yeah, I feel somewhere our Goan identity is getting diluted. We need to preserve our Goan identity. Whether it is Goan food or Goan heritage or Goan culture, and while the rest of the country, rest of the states are very conscious of their identity, their language, why are we told to compromise? Like, for example, my mother tongue is Konkani. Okay, आय एम सेइंग दिस इन इंग्लीश, बट म्हजी आवय भास कोंकणी. सो म्हाका कोण सांगपाक शकना की तुजी आवय भास आनी खंयची म्हणून. नो, म्हजी आवय भास कोंकणी, म्हजी आयडेंटिटी गोवन. आय एम प्राऊड टू बी अ गोवन. द होल वर्ल्ड वॉन्ट्स टू सेटल इन गोवा.
Yes.
And our people are going out of Goa and settling in London. Okay, our people are going out, and there is total immigration. Somewhere this should stop, and I feel we should preserve and protect our Goan historical monuments, our hills, our fields, our trees. Everything about Goa has to be preserved, and we have to fight the government at all times. You know, we should not keep quiet. We should fight the government. The government is doing wrong. They are destroying our environment. They are cutting our trees. They are destroying our fields, our hills, our river. Now they are destroying. They are not bothered. The Goa government is not bothered of Mother River. They are not bothered about Goa's environment. We don't want to our Goa to be diluted and finished. You know, we want our Goa to be preserved because we are blessed to be Goans.
And for this, you need the youth should be.
The youth should come out. The youth should realize that you have been
It is their
blessed.
future.
You know, people crave to be in Goa, and you have been given it on a platter. So please come out, voice out your opinion. Don't voice it out only for your marks.
Yes.
And for your careers, voice it out for Goa. Your mother Goa is crying. Rally behind her and save Goa. That is my message.
Thank you, Prajal Bob.
Thank
It
you
was
very much.
lovely talking to you,
Thank you
and
so much.
much
You're
of
welcome.
information and inspiration you're given to the youth with this interview. So that was Professor Prajal Sakhardande. He has spoken from his heart. His love for Goa is too deep and too sincere. Keep watching your favorite channel, the CCR TV channel. Thank you.